I'm not sure if they do confirmations in other countries than Norway, Sweden, Finland and Denmark, so for anyone who don't know what a confirmation is, here's an explanation. Originally, confirmation was a confirmation of baptism where the confirmant made a promise or a confession to continue being a Christian. Today, no promise is made anymore. Rather, the confirmation is considered an intercession for the confirmant where the priest asks that the confirmant will be preserved in the Christian faith. We could choose if we wanted to do a Christian confirmation or a non-Christian confirmation. If you choose to do a Christian confirmation, you would meet up in a church. Me not really being a fan of going to church the rare times I have gone, decided that I would choose the second option. And boy am I glad I did. I think? You see, there was this girl, that fine, she had a crush on me. There, I said it. She had a crush on me. So in this video, whenever you see this girl here, then you know that that is the girl that had a crush on me. Now let's just establish some things first. I will call the girl Karina. And Karina had a friend that I simply will call friend. How I will draw like this. Now Karina is not the hyperactive type, she is more like that type of person that can be anywhere on the scale depending on her day. And the same applies for her friend. Okay, now I can start telling you stories from my confirmation. So first of all, I had made this table thingies that people could read so that they didn't get bored. It was of characters from my YouTube channel. Well, most of them. You will see I ran out of ideas at some point. Also, before I start, I will write anything that is written on them in English on the side if that's necessary. Okay, here they are.
I had probably worked on them for like 3 to 4 months. And that was that not story.
But I do have a story that is a real story. So when we met up at my school for the confirmation thingy, we would first be in a classroom, then we would get some kind of recess. Before we kept going, and it's in this recess that stuff happened. So I just stood alone by my locker and did stuff like the unsocial shit I am. When all of a sudden... Hey.
How are you, and do you have a YouTube canal by any chance?
Yes.
What is the name of the thingy?
Mr. Fredamations.
Facts, okay, bye.
Yeah, that happened often. Maybe a little too much. Also the same day, we were allowed to suggest things to talk about the next time we met up. And sarcastically I said we should talk about my YouTube channel. And a couple of people agreed. And the two first people that agreed was Karina and her friend. And then all of her friends agreed. And we still didn't win. But it was worth a shot. Story. So sometimes we would outside, and this first time we were outside, it did do stuff like make a campfire. And we were in a small group. And I was with this other girl. So first, after we had burned down the forest, we were in a non-group thing where we would guess if the person on a piece of paper was a murderer, and we said yes every time. Oh, and did I mention that it was pitch black and we were in a forest? Perfect place to talk about murderers. And after that we played hide and seek. And we found the best hiding spot. It was so good that we forgot that we were playing a version of hide and seek where you are supposed to run back to a select spot without getting caught. In Norwegian it's called
bomgjemsel.
And that shitery was fun. Story. I think I will hand this part of the script over to Ingeborg, this woman character here that is named after my great-great-grandmother How, also was named Ingeborg, hence the reason I named this cartoon character after her. Okay Ingeborg, you got this.
So this time it was the last time we meet up, and this time we were in groups, and just so you know, we were always in groups when we met up. So we were in groups, and this time we did a troll quiz, things like what is the biggest desert and what man-made structure can you see from the moon? The answer is Antarctica is technically a desert, cause if Google is to be believed, then the average across the continent is low enough to classify all of Antarctica as a polar desert.
You're doing good, lad!
And the answer, what man-made structure can you see from the moon? None. No man-made structure can be seen from the moon. Surprise, surprise. Ooh oh. So we did some of that shit for a little while. And then we were allowed to go home, so I jumped on my bike and headed downhill. I could see some people in the distance and didn't think about it. When I got closer I realized that that's some of my friends, so I started to slow down.
Hang on. You gals aren't my friends.
It turns out that the people were some girls in my class, instead of the boys that I thought it was. So I started pedaling so hard that if I was on a gravel road the back wheel would have yeeted the rocks under my wheel. Yeah, that was unexpected.
You did well!
Chen E. Getting to the point.
Now at some point we were gonna go on a trip, and we were headed towards Bergen, where we would stay for 2 weeks. Days. And on the way there we would take a bus. And well, you see, Karina and her friend, we don't exactly live close. In fact, we live cute fair from each other. So I knew that when we stopped and they went on the bus, she would choose to sit in a very specific spot. I'll give you exactly no time to guess.
It was beside me. Now in bus law, if you go on the bus and there is a row of sets with 0 people on it, then that is the row that you are gonna sit on, as to not make any unnecessary social contact. This has nothing to do with the story, cuz I think she would have to sit down beside someone no matter what. So we arrived in Bergen, where we played some, rigged games. We built a rocket, and well, all the groups got different materials. So it was clearly unfair. But at the end, they all said that they knew that it was unfair and that it was all a plan. And after that, well, there isn't that much to talk about, but after we had gotten to our rooms, this happened.
And it still smells like shit here!
Yeah, that was kinda weird, not gonna lie. But after that I don't really have anything interesting to talk about, so I think we can just say goodbye. Among us startup sound effects as Karina slowly comes out from the side of the screen and scares Mr. Freddy. What the heck is this supposed to mean? What a weird script. Anyways, good deal. ah, ah.